guys, we are going to unbox this brand new 686 plus mountain gun from Smith & Wesson. It's a Lipsey's exclusive. Just picked it up today, and as far as I know, this is the first independent review for one of these guns. I wrapped it up in here, kind of cleaned it up. So there it is, the 686 mountain gun. Glad they made it. But this thing is beautiful. I'm very happy with it. I've had some QC issues with Smith & Wesson lately, and this, I feel, is redeemed my experience. I will say one thing right off the bat. They still have like buffing rouge left from the factory. Not a big deal, it cleans off, but it was rather dirty. They came pretty dirty. They test fired, I know, but it was mostly buffing compound from when they polished the stainless. So speaking of polishing here and everything, I think the finish of this gun is actually really good. I complained about the laser engraving like this that they did on the classic series on the blued guns. On stainless, it's not a problem. Feels like a roll mark. Completely happy with that. So what makes this one really special, what makes this mountain gun really special, is it has these, I think they call it bear hug grips. You can look online and see who made them, but apparently Lipsey's partnered up and they had these made up for this run of gun. And I will say and it is a round butt, by the way, and I will say that these are probably one of the most comfortable grips I have ever had on a revolver. It truly is. I don't think necessarily they're the best looking grips, but they are truly comfortable. That being said, the 32 Magnum that I got from Lipsey's, the J-frame, they had these like VZ made grips, and they look cool. They were black and red. They felt good in the hand, but they sucked in your pocket as a carry gun. So I actually took them off and put regular J-frame grips on it and sold those things off, and somebody actually bought them. So if you buy one of these guns and you don't like this grip for whatever reason, you want to put a smaller grip on it, or larger, whatever, you could probably sell these because they're very nice grips, and I could see how somebody would have rather have one of these things. Adjustable sights. Here's another cool feature. Oh, and let's just start off right off the bat. The best feature is it does not have the hated key lock hole on the side of the gun. That's, to me, the best selling feature about this firearm, is it doesn't have that hideous and just disgusting hole that Smith & Wesson started putting on their guns in like the year 2000 or 2001. So that's awesome. Thanks Lipsey's, thanks Smith & Wesson for actually making a decent gun. So some cool improvements. I could probably buff this rouge off now. The trigger and the hammer on this gun are chrome plated, flash chrome plated. I don't know. If you know, then you know. But apparently it makes a very slick trigger. And that being said, it's unloaded. Double action felt very good to me. Unusually good for a Smith & Wesson. I have been getting used to seeing Smith & Wesson triggers from the factory between the 12 and 16 pound weight on the double action pull. I weighed this one in at 10 pounds on my trigger pull gauge. So that's pretty awesome. Chrome plated. I like that. Looks pretty cool. I guess it's supposed to prevent rust. Another cool feature. This is a 686. They usually have a full underlug. This has a half underlug to save weight because this is intended to be like a carry gun. This is a 4-inch barrel, and it's also tapered, and I love that. I sold my Model 19, and when I sold it, the guy told me about this gun, and I was like, well, that sounds exactly what I want. Basically, this is a little bit larger than a K-frame. This is an L-frame gun. This holds 7 shots instead of 6, and apparently it's actually lighter than the Model 19 because it has the tapered barrel and this half underlug. I don't know. They say it's lighter. I don't have the gun to compare it to, but it feels lighter in my hand. But the engravings here, not engraving, the laser engraving, I guess, which has replaced the roll stamp, really good, smooth. Not a complaint like it was on my last one. Same thing here, Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum, very nice. Another cool addition is they put a brass beaded front sight, and I tell you what, it actually shows up in low light. Not like tritium or anything, like, let's get real, but when it shows up in natural light, I guess, it is easy to find. So no complaints. I think that's a cool feature there. I had to jack the rear sight up when I was shooting. It did shoot a bit low with 125 grain 357s. It did shoot pretty much on par at 158 grain for some reason, unless it was me. It could be. But once again, yeah, these laser etchings are almost as good as roll stamps. Now this is a laser etch, and they kind of put it right on top of the steel. And I've seen these have been like this since the 90s. Not offensive. Looks good. Like it. Great job with this Smith & Wesson. Apparently this cylinder is chamfered. They call it like a black powder chamfer or something. Basically, it's just kind of beveled so that it's easier to insert into a holster. So I noticed this gap here seems a little bit larger than I'm used to compared to other Smith & Wessons. But I've been looking at a bunch of pictures of these guns, and they all seem to be kind of like that. And that's probably because they've changed to this ball and detent locking feature. Apparently it makes this gun stronger. They also increased the forcing cone size from what I've read. This supposedly makes it stronger. That makes it a lot stronger. I thought the L-frame was already strong enough. But yeah, that ball and detent right there, pretty cool. Lock up's real good. Unlocks real easy. I'm really happy. These grips are so good. Walnut, by the way. Walnut grips. What else there I could say? The complaint. The gap there. I'm not a big fan of the gap, but I've seen they were all like that. And but now that I've seen that they're all like that, I guess that's maybe the way they're making them because of that ball detent, perhaps. I'm not sure. I've compared it to other Smith ones that I have. I don't have a gap this large. I could put my fingernail in there. It's not terrible. It's not even really offensive, but you know, when you spend like, I think I got this one for $1,100 before tax. It's kind of like, come on, Smith & Wesson, can't you just make this perfect for that kind of money? But that's probably the only gripe I have. Oh, the grips fit so good. I've had Smith & Wessons ship grips that have huge gaps, all like they just look like seconds. They didn't look good at all. This is a round butt that they kind of make it into a square, so there's like that little gap there, but you can't ding it. That's just the way they're designed. The walnut is pretty. Has this really nice palm swell. And like I said, it fills the hands so good. It feels like a handshake. It's like seriously that good. It is that good. I want to polish this gun up because I did take it to the range, and I'm going to put some range footage in probably right now. Let's load this thing up with some 357.
Loading up 158 grain 38 specials to give my hand a break from the recoil. Love how this thing has a 7-shot cylinder. I look behind me, people probably think I'm talking to myself. It's not ideal at a gun range to do that. That was 7. That's another thing, it has 7-shot cylinder. I was aiming for the little guy. Let's see what I did.
Well, this is offhand accuracy at 20 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not bad, and that's my first group. Not bad. This is one of the nicest Smith & Wessons I've ever seen, and it came from Lipsey's. It's like their dealer exclusive, you know. And I just love this. The 432. I don't remember, the black 32 Magnum J frame that Lipsey's came out with. I loved it. I love 32 Magnum, H&R Magnum. It's fun. You can shoot these like wad cutters out of it. It's just a great gun for carrying. You get 6 rounds. It's just awesome. Now they do make this in 44 Magnum, and the reason why that didn't appeal to me is I don't really like 44 Magnum. It's too much for what I want. 357 is perfect for what I want, and this has an additional round inside of it since it is an L frame with a 7-shot cylinder. If you're unfamiliar with firearms, most revolvers have 6. The smaller ones have 5 now. So if you put a 32 in the J frame, you can get 6. If you put 357 in these larger L frames, you get 7 out of the cylinder. It's kind of cool. Comes with your lock. Nobody uses. Comes with your paperwork. Got some stuff in here. Got your manual, a Smith & Wesson sticker. Join the NRA, which I wouldn't join the NRA not until Wayne LaPierre steps down and actually turns into a real gun rights organization instead of a place that helps a rich guy buy more suits. It looks great, and if you're on the fence about this, I'd say buy it, really. I have shot it. I'm show some more footage of that, but I just love this tapered barrel. The way they're chamfered and smooth, it just looks so good. The double action pull, like I said, 10 pounds. I don't know if they changed the like the dynamic of the spring rates or something, or if they changed anything. I'm not sure, but it feels really good. I did not weigh the single action pull, so I'm going to do that right now. This is what I use, and you can see the last time no, it wasn't 7. I'll just do it on camera. We can find out together. I know some people argue about these can be inconsistent and incorrect, and maybe they're right. I don't know, but it's what I use. I kind of grab the barrel up here so that I don't interfere with the cylinder while it's trying to spin. So I grab it up here, making sure not to even pinch this. And you put this thing down to 0 and put that on the, it's hard to look through a camera and do this. All right. So that one's right above 10, close to 11. I usually do this 3 times and then take the average. It's actually kind of hard to do this over a phone for some reason. It probably doesn't make for a good video either. We're right at 10. That's kind of what I was getting, was a lot of 10. So, single action. I did it like 6 times. So, single action, pull the hammer back. Now, if I could guess, I'm going to say 5. For some reason, usually single action triggers of Smith & Wessons they're amazing. This one feels a little harder. So I'm going to weigh it. We're back to 0 here. I'm going to say 5. I'm hoping for less, but we'll find out. I swear I just guessed, and it broke at 5. We'll do it again. We're not going to bore you so much with doing this over and over for the video, but for those that want to know. Yeah, it's breaking right at 5. I thought it felt like 5. It reminds me like when I'm a mechanic, you know, when I was a mechanic. You'd be like, oh, it gets torqued to 60. And you get so used to like doing that you know what 60 feels like. I kind of know what 5 feels like. So I guess I'm just bragging, trying to sound cool. I know I'm not. Just let me have it. But anyway, this is a sweet gun. Stainless steel. You can carry it on you in the woods and not have to worry about scratching it up or getting the bluing all messed up. Another kudo thing for Smith & Wesson. They drill through the tops here now. 1, 2, 3. I think in case you want to put a scope, but they use it here for this. And they used to not drill all the way through. And you'll get these really hideous blast marks, which I've already cleaned off on the cylinder here. Okay. Usually back in the day, you would call Smith & Wesson and request a longer screw. You could fit it and you would eliminate those weird blast circles on each one of those cylinders. On a stainless gun, it's not that big deal. On a blue gun, it's a big deal because you're cleaning it continuously. You're actually going to rub the blue off. But I've noticed when I shot it, I didn't experience that. And I seen that this front screw here was pretty much flush. So it looks like they're doing a little extra to do a better job. I'm really happy with the gun. Double action trigger pull, 10 pounds. Single, 5. I was thinking about putting my Jerry Michalak trigger kit into one of these things, and I don't know if I will or not. It actually feels really good, and of course it's 100% reliable. There is an issue sometimes that you may have when you put in trigger kits without polishing them correctly or whatever. You might run into reliability issues. This was so good I just might honestly leave it alone, but I'll probably also get bored and then put it in anyway. So it does polish up. I got a lot of fingerprints on here, but it does polish up really good. I've seen a lot of Smith & Wessons lately that have a very undesirable amount of brushing on it. And this one has, I think, a tasteful amount of the brush or like just the polish marks that you can probably see here in the light. But it's polished enough. And if you wanted to take this all the way and get your flits out and go to the moon with this thing, you probably could. And it'd probably look great. And you could replace the handles with some ivory, and then you'd be a pimp, you know? And who doesn't want to be a pimp? But it shot a very decent group. I was extremely happy with the group that I received with this gun. I think I had to adjust the sight to move it over to the left just a tad. You can kind of see that bead glowing. See what I'm talking about? Just glows. Yeah, I just had to move it over just a tad, and it was right on. I did have to lift it up some because I did notice it shot really low at the 125 grains, 357s. Another issue I've been seeing with Smith & Wessons that does not seem to have is that these like lines, I guess, that are anti-sun reflective lines, they have been looking like they're like nicked and machined incorrectly. These are perfect. They look great. 4-inch barrel too. 4-inch barrel, so cool. Love this gun. I love it. This is like an independent review. I spent my own money on it. I'm giving my own opinion and everything. This ain't paid, nothing. I wish it was paid because I like this gun, and I would have liked to not paid $1,100 for it before tax. That'd have been really cool. But, you know, hey. I haven't seen anybody else review this. There's probably, I think the 44 Magnum might be a little bit more popular, but I think this should be more popular, just in my opinion, you know, and that's up to debate, you know. But I just think it's a great gun, especially for the money. I was looking at Colts, and they were like $1,500. Even the Vipers were like, I think, $1,000. You get 6 shots with a Viper. And then I started doing research and finding out that like the triggers would break if you short stroked them or something. And you can Google that stuff. Colt apparently has with their Cobra frame models, their D frame models or something. They have this weird trigger issue. The good thing about a Smith & Wesson is these parts, that they put in here are pretty tough, honestly. I don't have a problem with metal injected molded parts. I've heard horror stories. I don't really believe them. Never experienced it, but it's funny because people are like, the MIM parts, the MIM parts, metal injected, they're weak and inferior. But at the same time, they're like, Ruger makes the strongest revolvers. And literally, those are metal injected parts as well. In fact, I think they have even a cast frame. So, where these are forged, at least they used to be. I hope they still are. For the price they should be. So, people have a problem. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with sleeve barrels either. I think that's very effective. I like this new detent. Apparently it makes it stronger. The forcing cone being stronger. Well, who doesn't want a stronger revolver, you know? Lasts longer. No key lock, or what some call the Hillary hole, you know? So, there's a bonus section on this video. I want to change the grips out to a pair of very fancy and beautiful, what they call legacy grips. And I just want to see what it looks like. And then I want to ask you your opinion on what you think looks better. All right, so here we are. I got these really cool legacy grips and one of these T grips. I'll put a link below where you can get these. BK Grips, I think, is who make them, like BK as in Burger King. I don't really know what it stands for, but I'll add a link in the description. I don't get a cut or nothing of that. I also have some affiliate links down below, and that's Amazon. I do get a cut from that, so if you want to help the channel, just click the link and go shopping, and I'll get a kickback. Not much. I won't be rich. Kind of give up on that. Anyway, I love these legacy grips. I have them on my K-frame, I'm Model 19. And then when you have these little tiny grips, it's nice to have this T-grip thing, or whatever they call it. You put that up in there. You take the screw. Now, I think this looks better, okay? Now, looks doesn't necessarily mean better. It might look good, but is it functional? Will it function good? That's the main thing. So, but I want your opinion. So you leave in the comments below what you think. What do you think of that? Now, I love round butt. I love round butts, period. But I love round butt Smith & Wessons. I think they fit my hand better. I like them. These grips kind of seem like they're trying to go square, round a square. I'm not sure. Now, these are great grips. I really do like them. I just kind of wish that they kind of went around the... I kind of wish they were for round butt. I'd keep them on if they were, to be honest. I really would. But what do you think of that? Do you think that's gorgeous? Do you think it's too flashy? Gorgeous. I don't know. Love it. I love it. It does feel good in the hand. Not going to lie. It feels good in my hand, too. No sharp edges. Very round. It's burled walnut, or I'm pretty sure it's burled walnut. These are made by Altamont. They're called the Legacy Grip, I'm sure. Very cool. They are more of like a grip that came from guns back in the early 1900s. So, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like, please follow, subscribe, leave a comment below. Tell me what you think of these grips. You think these are better than the other ones? Let me know. Look at that. Tell me what you think of the mountain gun. Now, this isn't the only one that they're coming back out with that doesn't have the lock. Okay, they got a few more, but I'll be honest with you. Who's going to buy a Model 10 for $900, I think is what they want. Who's going to buy a lockless Model 10 with a tapered barrel and a square butt when you can buy them on Gumroad all day long for like $500? Unless the price has gone up, and I don't know, but they're pretty cheap because they made $1.5 million of them. So, I don't know what else to say about this gun, besides it is awesome, and I am very happy with it. Very happy with it. It is pretty dirty, and it came dirty like that from the factory. I did shoot it, which didn't help, but, you know, I'm happy with the trigger, too. Now, there's one thing I forgot to mention. These chrome-plated triggers apparently break in, and they feel super smooth. Don't know. Never experienced that. I am completely, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's marketing. Who knows? But anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Lipsey's, keep on doing what you do good. And Smith & Wesson, you listen to Lipsey's. They got some good ideas, okay? So, thanks, guys. Like, subscribe. Check out the links below if you want these BK grips, affiliate links and everything like that. Just send messages. Talk to me. Tell me if you want to see any kind of new videos. I'm not doing knife stuff too much anymore. Kind of burnt out. Maybe I'll make a video on that. Anyway, guys, y'all take care. Bye-bye.